Before I get onto this lovely topic about taxes, I do want to give this one disclaimer, and that is that I am not a tax advisor and I'm not an accountant. I'm a gig worker and I just do my own taxes. But as well, because your safety is my concern, just pay attention to those in the comments. You might see people claiming to be tax professionals, and it's okay to give advice inside the comments. Just make sure you're not giving out your private information and doing your taxes with somebody in the comments just because they say that they are a professional. Go with the professionals that you currently know. Never trust people within the comments just because your safety is a priority. I'm sure there's a bunch of great people that have no bad intentions, but because I have people that will seek attention when it comes to tax videos, I want to give that one disclaimer just to keep your safety first. Now, the first thing that I am going to recommend to those that don't want to pay when it comes to income tax of being a gig worker, because I know this whole tax conversation is a big subject, is open an RRSP and make weekly contributions. Now, for those that don't know, an RRSP is a registered retired saving plan. And what that does is every time you contribute within that tax year to your RRSP, the government will grant you a tax credit. So it's you putting in money and they're going to give you some back. The more you put in, the more that you get back. Now, for some people, when it comes to pension, for example, they will say, well, for pension, it's better off doing a TFSA, a tax-free savings account. And I 100% agree to that, and I actually say open one of those too. But the difference between RRSP and TFSA is with the RRSP, you will get the tax benefit. With the TFSA, you don't. Now, many people will say, well, when you take your pension, you're going to have to pay taxes for that. Yes, but there's two factors that I want to consider here. When you take your pension, you pay taxes. But each year that you contribute to your pension, you get a tax credit. So in my eyes, it does pretty much cross out. But two, we're never guaranteed tomorrow. And let's say, hypothetically speaking, I don't make it to pension. Well, at least I'm getting a nice little tax benefit each and every year until then, and then my pension will be actually passed down to my son, or it clears off any debts that I have. So I do look at an RRSP as a win-win, but also you can open up a TFSA if you want to get your pension on board, but that's a whole other subject. So RRSP is the number one that I'm going to recommend because it's what I do every single year. It gets your pension saved up and you get a nice tax return. Now let's get on to some other good stuff. When it comes to being a gig worker, if you do not want to pay for taxes, this is also probably somebody else's number one that you got to do, especially if you're in Canada, and that's keep your gas receipts. I actually always have mine stored in my phone wallet. And they're the regular old gas receipts like you see currently here. Okay, just the little papers, and I just keep them in a side pouch inside my phone wallet. Now with these, what I do is when it comes to tax time, I make a spreadsheet so that it's easier for my eyes with everything on it. The place I gassed up from, how much was the gas, how much I paid, the address of the place, my method of payment, and the date that I went to gas up. And with that, at the end of the year, I can claim it. Because the one thing about especially being a Canadian is one of the bylaws is you are not supposed to pay to work for a company. If you're paying to work for a company, you can claim that back. Now, I don't know if you've done the math on it, but the amount of money that we pay as gig workers in gas pretty much ends up being, if you're lucky, $10 per day for gas, sometimes upwards to $15 a day. And that's out of your earnings that you're not going to get back if you don't claim it on taxes. Now in the US, they claim miles. Now, I don't claim my miles or my kilometers, but on TurboTax, which is the method that I use, they will ask me what was my starting year kilometers and my end of the year. But I will say this, when it comes to keeping gas stubs, I don't keep every single gas stub. I keep the ones that I use on the days that I do gig work. And if I'm going off on a vacation, I throw it away. So it is important to make sure you're not trying to overstub things because you can be audited, but keep your gas receipts for the days that you're doing gig work and you can claim them back. Another way that you can save yourself some money when it comes to tax time so that you don't pay money when it comes to taxes, hopefully, is claim any car repairs. So I'm lucky that I haven't had any repairs, but twice a year I get an oil and tire change. Yes, I am a woman that is more than capable of doing a tire and oil change by myself. Grew up a tomboy, two brothers, my dad and such. I know how to do both. However, I find it more convenient to go to the dealerships or, mechanics and get that done. So it charges me about, I don't know, $180 each time. So I keep those papers and those receipts so that I can claim it back. Because the wear and tear that goes into your vehicle is something you can claim back at tax time, especially if you're doing gig work full time. Any type of repairs that way, you should be able to utilize to claim back when it comes to your income tax. Now, another thing that can help you not actually pay any money when it comes to tax time is simply declaring your cell phone bill. When it comes to your cell phone, we got to use texting, which nowadays involves data to begin with. You have to use data, and a lot of the times we have to call our customers, which means you have to have a cell phone plan. So you can go ahead and take your cell phone bill for the year and you can claim it for tax purposes. The difference is that these registered, regardless if it's TurboTax or H&R Block, these companies or programs will take a percentage of that and use it towards your tax returns. You won't be able to claim the whole thing, but you can definitely claim enough of it. Now, these are 4 things that I want to mention when it comes to not paying when it comes to income tax. Open up an RSP and contribute weekly. Make sure you keep your gas receipts. Make sure when it comes down to it, you claim your repairs and also claim that cell phone. If you have any other suggestions or feedbacks, leave them in the comments below so that other people can do that when it comes to their claims. And I'll catch you lovelies in the next video.